Hello, everybody. This is the second time I hit the go live button and the thing flashed up and says live streaming is not available right now. It's so stressful. I don't like it. All right, 7 o'clock. Yeah, 6:59. 7. All right, let's get started. Good to see you all, but I can't see you. Hopefully you had a fantastic, if not a little bit different, Memorial Day weekend. So we're going to go about 42 minutes probably. I added a minute to the warm-up. So if you haven't started, go ahead and get started. Good to see Patricia was on here early, getting some warm-up in. It's great. So if you're not already warmed up, so if you are warmed up, just keep riding aerobically so you can be in a harder gear. But if you're just getting started, go ahead and find yourself in a really easy gear. So right now I'm in the small chain ring, and I'm 1 or 2 from the inside. So it's super easy. So stay there for maybe about a minute, and then just switch to 1 gear harder. And then every minute or so, just keep switching 1 gear harder. And that will just slowly raise your level of intensity. That's an excellent way to warm up on the bike, on the trainer. I got to find some music that I want to listen to. So today's workout is going to be, the main set is 6 by 2 minutes. I have on here best sustained pace, so that can mean different things for different people. For those of you that did the 10-minute benchmark workout, I would say it would be at least at that effort. So if you have, you have an echo on the audio, huh? Oh, weird. Mine is good. Christine, you don't have 2 people riding in the same place, do you? Maybe I should keep talking and you can figure that out. Anybody else have an echo besides Christine? Do you have 2? If you have 2, I know some people have their phones so they can chat and then. No worries. You can see that's how close I have to get to the computer to read it. All right. If you haven't already, switch to a little bit harder gear. So if you did the 10-minute effort and you had any kind of metrics last, God darn it, I gotta start my CompuChainer. Jeez. No wonder it felt so easy for me. All right, back to what I was saying. If you did the 10-minute effort, which I guess would be like 10 days ago, if you have any metrics that you're measuring off that, like average speed, distance, well, I can do distance, but I guess just really average speed, unless you had power. Even heart rate would be a little bit tricky because your heart rate in 2 minutes is not going to get up as high as it was for your 10 minutes. But you can also think about your perceived exertion, how that felt, and you can go at least that hard. You could go a little bit harder. If there's anybody that hasn't been doing these workouts, if you're newer to these workouts, then, and if you haven't been doing a lot of higher intensity cycling, then you should keep the 2 minutes at maybe just slightly uncomfortable, as opposed to going above uncomfortable into what I would call hard. Hard would be where you don't want to talk anymore. Slightly uncomfortable would be where you can put together, 4, 5, 6 words, take a breath. Uncomfortable would be putting together like two, 3 words, taking a breath. It's a very broken form of speech. So anyway, hopefully that gives you some guidance on how hard you can go. We didn't work out Monday because, well, we didn't work out together Monday. It was Memorial Day, so maybe you're feeling like you have extra energy and you want to go a little bit harder. That's fine. Keep in mind that we do want all 6 of the 2-minute efforts to be either where you get harder / go faster, or they stay the same. You don't want to go guns blazing in the first one and then taper off for the last 2, okay? So that's just one caveat to give you guys as far as effort. Make them harder. Another way to do it would be to look at your gearing. So, if you want, we should probably be starting them in the big chain ring, but in the easiest gear in the big chain ring, which would be big chain ring, and then in the back, it would mean that you still have 2 gears left because we don't want to be cross chain. So you might just do like the first, maybe go 1 or 2 gears down when you do the first of the 6, and you see how that feels effort-wise. And then you think, oh, okay, I can go a little harder. Well, the next time go 1 more gear down the cog set and back, because your gearing very much will dictate your effort, as will your cadence. So you can blend those 2, and that would be a way to increase the effort through the 6. I was doing a lot of mountain biking this weekend because I was, beginning mountain biking, I should say. Mazama over in Winthrop has these great dirt trails that are pretty much flat. So it's great for somebody like me who doesn't know how to mountain bike, because it's like riding a road bike, but on dirt. But there is more cadence changes, because sometimes big rock or a small rock coming up and you got to maneuver around it, so you stop pedaling, and sometimes you're going downhill. And one of the things that, as I was shifting gears, what came to my mind that I want to pass on to you guys is that sometimes when you're out riding, I think especially when people are new, they're not fine-tuned to how they shift their gears. And what I noticed was that, when you're pedaling and you're going downhill and there's just not any tension in your leg, well, that's just like, for me, it's just like, that's like a mind-body connection, where it's just like, that means I have to shift to a harder gear so that I can create at least a little bit of tension in my legs so that my legs aren't spinning really freely, right? And so same thing if I start going uphill and there's too much tension in my legs, that's a signal that I need to go to an easier gear. So next time you're out riding outside, you don't really feel it inside because you don't have the changes in road. But when you're outside, see if you can just kind of pay attention to, what I really feel it in my quads, right? And when that tension goes away and your legs start spinning quite freely, this would be a way to do it when you don't have cadence on your bike. Your legs start spinning freely, you don't have that tension. That's a sign that you need to shift to a harder gear to get in at least a little bit, a moderate amount of tension in the pedal stroke. And then the opposite with that would be, when you start getting too much tension, I'll put in the big gear here, like when you start getting too much tension, like if you go into the big chain ring in a hard gear right now, you'll notice like your legs slow down. So that's cadence, but you also notice that it takes a lot more tension to turn the pedals over. So that's a sign that that's too hard of a gear, so switch to an easier gear so you can get that tension in your legs where you want it to be, okay? So that's just another way of looking at cadence and effort and how those tie in together. So anyway, play around with that outside. let's have everybody get into the big chain ring in your easiest gear in the big chain ring. So it should still feel pretty easy, right? If by chance it feels too hard, you can go back to the small chain ring and pick your gear. We're going to do 30 seconds of high cadence, 30 seconds recovery. We're going to do that 5 times. We're going to go in like 5-ish seconds. Okay, ready? 2, 1, go. So basically bring your cadence up as high as you can, up to the point where you start bouncing, and then really work on your bringing your core engaged, lightening your arms and hands, elongating your spine. Try to be as stable as you can where your legs are spinning really fast. Okay, rest, 30 seconds easy. A little drink if you want. So think about that gear choice. And if it felt too easy, when we start this next time, go 1 gear to the right, 1 gear harder. So right hand, 1 gear harder. We're going to go 5 seconds. 2, 1, here we go. So 1 gear harder if you want. Same thing, really bring the cadence up. When you start to feel yourself bounce around on your bike, then draw your spine in, elongate, draw your spine in, draw your navel into your spine. All right, relax. So you can stay in this gear if you went up, or you can go back 1 gear easier. Same thing. I'm going to go, you can stay in this gear if you want next time, or if you want to, you can try 1 gear harder. Every time we go up to a harder gear, it's going to be more challenging to keep your cadence up, but that's part of the challenge, and it'll definitely bring up your effort. Okay, ready? We're going to go in 3, 2, 1, go. And I wouldn't expect you to hit the same cadence numbers if you went 1 gear harder, but it's still just the intention of spinning faster. All right, I'm going to 3, 2, 1, recover. So right here, for me, I'm going to go 1 gear easier to recover. That gear for me was good. It was challenging. If you want to, you can go 1 gear harder. It's going to be really difficult probably to get your cadence above like 95, maybe even above 90. So it still contributes to the work that we're doing. Or you can stay in the gear you were, or 1 gear easier. Ready? 2, 1, go. So like for myself, I went another gear harder, and I can tell it's really challenging to turn the pedals over, and my cadence is only like 86. Okay, relax. So here's a great thing to do if you're out riding on a flat, nice, wide trail or a road, that's nice and safe. Is about get in a gear, maybe start in the big chain ring, easy gear, get your cadence up to 90, and you have to kind of do it on a flat road. Every minute, change 1 gear harder. Keep your cadence at 90 and watch your speed. Your speed will go up about 0.5 mile an hour every gear change. Okay, last one, pick your gear. So it's a good thing to do outside, just so you can start to see, yes, when I go 1 gear harder, my speed goes up as long as I keep my cadence the same. If your cadence drops, your speed will drop. And then you also start to see how difficult it is to turn the pedals over as the gears get harder. Okay, relax. The other thing that little drill can help you do is find your gear of choice. So Dave Scott likes to call it your time trial gear, which is it's the gear that you naturally gravitate towards. And that gear is, a lot of times it's the same gear, but it also can be a slightly different gear based on if you're going up or down. But you still gravitate towards a particular gear, and that gear really matches up with sort of that feeling in the legs, right? And how that feels, what feels natural to you. And so sometimes when you're new to cycling, you tend to gravitate towards a gear easier than you can actually ride in. And so once you find what your gear of choice is, the one that you naturally gravitate towards, on your longer rides, every once in a while, say, just look down and see your gear and see how it feels, and then decide, I'm going to try 1 gear harder. And you'll find that it takes a little bit of concentration, but it's not that hard. And so maybe over time, you can start to raise up your gear of choice, and it's not, you want it to be so hard, but you can still find the right effort, and then you end up going faster just because you chose 1 gear harder. If nothing else, it makes you aware of your gearing. So I talked too long. I gave you too much rest. But all right, we're going to go in like 10 seconds. We're going to go 2 minutes, the first of 6. So think about what gear you want to be in. Don't go out too hard. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So we'd like to have the cadence up around 90. So my cadence right now is 92. So if you can see my knees and you can match it, then you would be right at 93 cadence right now. Sometimes when you don't have cadence, but when you're riding outside, if you're riding behind somebody, you can look at their legs and kind of match their pedal stroke. Also on these 6, especially in the last couple, I would love for you to find that place where you have to toggle between gears. 1 gear harder, maybe 10, 15 seconds, back to your gear of choice. Maybe you need to go 1 gear easier to recover for 10 seconds and then back to your gear of choice. So maybe there's 3 gears of your gear of choice and that you hop back and forth. So 3 gears, 1 easier, 1 harder. So that's the range. All right, 10 seconds. All right, recover. So if you want, you can go to the small chain ring. Nice, easy recovery. Very little tension in the legs. Get some water. Towel off. You should have at least like the beginning of a sweat going. Maybe it depends on where you live. I'm not sure. Like it's sunny outside, so my guess is everybody's house is a little warmer than, especially 5 weeks ago. So maybe we sweat faster. I don't know. I have a fan on. Hopefully you have a fan on too. Okay, so think about that gear that you were in and ask yourself, was that 2 minutes, was it appropriate? Maybe it was appropriate for the first one. Maybe it's not appropriate for the second one. Maybe it is appropriate for the second one. Maybe it was too hard for the next one. But whatever gear you want to start in, like if you want to be in the big chain ring to start, go ahead and get in the big chain ring. We're going in 10 seconds for number 2. So myself, I'm going to go a little bit harder. Here we go. Ready? 2, 1, go. So right now, I'm in the gear that I ended up in, but it's 1 gear harder than when I started last time. And then I'm going to switch to a harder gear, knowing that I may not be able to maintain this. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. To see how the effort feels. Thirty seconds left. Three seconds left. All right, recover. Nice job. Whew. So pick a really easy gear for the next minute and a half. So for me, and again, this really doesn't have any bearing necessarily on where you're at, but just for points of reference, my cassette and back has 11 gears. Most of you probably have 10. And at that one there, I was right in the middle gear. So I had 5 showing this way and 5 showing that way. And that was pretty challenging. 1 gear easier was where I could push it and not quite get so tired. 1 gear harder was pretty hard. But as we get into number 5 and number 6, I'm going to try to work my way into those harder gears and challenge myself to still keep my cadence close to 90. So that's my personal challenge. You can think about what your intentions are, what your challenge is. So if you want to start in the big chain ring on this next one, go ahead and get there now. But you know, it's like with every workout, what's the purpose of this workout? So you have to answer that. For me, I want to go a bit harder. Okay, we're going 2 seconds. 1, here we go. Number 3. For those of you that do have, say, your lap cadence, which is just the cadence for this effort, as opposed to total cadence, or just your real-time cadence, and some way of measuring effort, like average speed, watts, even heart rate. You can look at those two numbers, average cadence or your cadence, and then your average speed, and then try to boost your average speed, which will probably make your cadence drop. And that's where you can play around with gearing. You know, when you want to bring up your average speed, try a harder gear, spin as fast as you can, knowing it'll be slower. And then as you boost your average speed and you want to bring your cadence up, go to an easier gear, and you can play those two numbers off each other. So right now I'm doing that with my power and my lap cadence. So like my power is higher than last time, but my cadence is a little lower. So I went to an easier gear just to finish this out. Try to bring my cadence up. Okay, recover. Whew, easy gear. So I can definitely start to feel my legs. I'm sure you can too. You know you worked hard when you're really happy to find that small chain ring. All right, we're halfway there. I always feel like number 5 is the next one. It's like the hardest one because the last ones, you always know it's the last one. But like these next two will probably be a little bit harder mentally. Okay, so you got 3 under your belt. You have an idea of your range of effort. So that should really help you with your gear choice. So pick what's appropriate. If you want to start in the big chain ring, let's start there. So big chain ring, easiest gear, you should be able to still be recovering. All right, we're going 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 2 minutes, number 4. So another thing that will affect and impact every workout, like in a workout like this, is like, what's your fatigue coming into this workout? Because if your fatigue is high coming into this workout, then you probably need to keep the effort, you know, really at the moderate to slightly moderately hard, slightly uncomfortable. And as you lay out your workouts throughout the week, you have to consider that, like maybe pick your 2 key workouts, 2 or 3 key workouts that are spaced across your week. And then you want to make sure you're going into those key workouts slightly recovered, right? So like you wouldn't want to do a hard track workout last night, turn around 12 hours later and do this, right? And a swim would have been better. Coming off of this, if it's maybe it's a swim, maybe it's a bike, maybe you have 2 days that are kind of harder, and then a swim or active recovery. So just some more things to think about as you plan your schedule. And you think about what the purpose of every workout is. 5 seconds. All right, relax. Whew. Whew. So what I was talking about too plays into what you're training for, right? Being a triathlete, a person who trains multi-sport, sometimes you're doing a Ragnar relay or half marathon, maybe a longer triathlon, whatever it is. But there can be different phases per se and then different micro phases within the week where you want your key workouts to go really well. You're going to get more out of your training when you hit your key workouts. Unfortunately, what some people do is let's say you have 3 key workouts, and then you have these other workouts. They go too hard on the other workouts, so they don't have any energy on the key workouts. So everything becomes kind of flatlined instead of having harder ones and easier ones and harder ones and easier ones. All right, number 5 in 10 seconds. So find yourself in the big chain ring. If you want to start there. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, here we go. Number 5. Fifteen seconds. 5, 2, 1, recover. Oh, yikes. Whew. Nice job. So I'll tell you what I did there. Right out of the start, I got my cadence up super high. So I was above 100. And then, so I built a little cushion with my cadence. These are just little mental games that I'm playing with myself. So I had this cushion with my cadence. And then I started shifting to really harder gears, which would bring my power up because I was trying to get my power above 200. You could do the same thing if you're looking at average speed. Pick a point and try to get there. So by doing that, it made my cadence drop from 100 to 90. When I got down to 90, I shift back to easier gears, and I was working hard at keeping my cadence at 90 while keeping my power up to 200. So this time, I'm going to do it the opposite way. I'm going to go to a super hard gear right away, which is going to boost my power well above 200. And then I'm going to work to go to easier gears to bring my cadence up. But I still want to end up in the same place, 90 cadence, 200 power. Okay, find yourself in the big chain ring. Ready? We're going on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Here we go. All right, 1 minute in. Ten seconds. All right, recover. Oh, yeah. Whew. High five. So 1.5 minutes, super easy. We'll have 5 minutes cool down. So next week, we're going to go to 6:30. My thought is for those people that have to get to work, other than working from home, a little earlier, easier. I'll keep the workouts to 45 minutes. And then I'd love to hear from you guys because I'm thinking about switching Wednesdays to Thursdays. And the reason is I'm working on a 12-week Olympic distance training program / team that'll be just $25 a month, where these workouts will be part of that, but it'll be a complete schedule of swim, bike, run. We're getting into a place where open water swimming is, easy to do right now. Green Lake's probably 67. So swimming won't be an issue like it was 5 weeks ago. And then who knows, maybe someday we'll be able to meet back up. But part of the reason why I wanted to switch it to Thursdays was because I wanted to schedule a run and a swim on Tuesday and Wednesday. So then that would be like bike, swim or run, whatever day I decide. So bike, swim, run, bike. Friday would be like a flex day. Saturday would be a long workout day. Sunday would be another swim. Good time for an open water swim. So Sunday's a great time for an open water swim. Go ahead and find a gear that feels just kind of moderately hard. So Sunday's a good day for an open water swim in the summer because if you have a hard workout day on Saturday, Sunday will, if you swim, it will serve as a recovery for Saturday and set you up nicely for Monday. So that's what I'd like to do. But if because you 6-7 people have been on here every week, if that is something that won't work for you, let me know. But that's my plan. And then also what I want to do with the 12 weeks of training is set up a virtual triathlon. So it'll be like August 23rd. In that, if we could meet, groups are allowed, then it would be fun to do it together for people here locally. And if we can't meet, then we're kind of right back where we are right now. But I know that for a lot of people, myself included, not having a plan makes it really difficult. And so that's one of the great things about having a race is it's challenging to formulate a training plan without a goal. And when you have a goal, your training plan makes sense, right? And so by offering this 12-week program, it would give you structure, something to train towards. You can do the virtual event, maybe a group event. And then for all of you guys who are on this live call right now, you're probably doing Lava Man next year. So it just continues your training, makes you stronger through that. But mainly the reason I'm doing it is just to really try to help give people focus, because it can be tough right now. There's a lot of, mental health challenges, a lot more people probably feeling more anxiety. And so, sometimes having something to focus on. Also, bringing people together in a team environment is one of the goals as well. So I'll be rolling that out in the next week or two for any of you guys that are interested, and you can pass it along to other people. You can also not do it, and you can still do these workouts on Monday and Wednesday, or Monday and Thursday maybe. So anyway, that's that. Where are we at? So we're gonna go another, what did I say? We'll go another 2 minutes? Let's go another 2 minutes. So get in a nice, easy gear. Hopefully your legs are feeling thankful to be in this nice, easy gear for the last 5 minutes. And then I will do my best. I'll probably write the workouts for 43, 44 minutes, since I always go a minute or two extra. And that way we'll be done in 45 minutes. So start at 6:30, be done at 7:15. Who knows? Maybe we'd have to go earlier. Not my preference, but I can do it. So we'll try 6:30 for a while. And if you have time today, and if you want to go out for a bike ride, just because it's sunny out, this is a great time to do an active recovery bike ride. So it's basically just very light to moderate tension in your legs, flattish roads, high cadence. That'll flush out all this work that we did today. So there's a residual lactate in your muscles. And so that's where massage, active recovery, those kind of things increase blood flow, and they help pull the waste products out of your muscles so that you recover faster. And because it's a beautiful day, sometimes it's nice to just go on a bike ride simply to enjoy cycling. Or tomorrow looks pretty good too, so that would be another chance to go for a bike ride. You'll be a bit more recovered tomorrow, so you could, put in a few efforts if you wanted to, or slightly hilly course. And Friday looks pretty decent too. I think the weekend looks rainy or cloudy. Anyway, 5 seconds, and then we're done. It's great to see you guys. Boom, I'm done. 43 minutes, 27 seconds. Patricia rode longer because she got on early. Great to see you guys. Have a great day, and I'll be in touch.